Hello, this is the Lord's Legion, and welcome to the best villains ever. The show in which I talk about a specific villain and talk about their backstories, abilities, greatest feats, and why I love them so much. And to celebrate the release of Shazam, and I know I am slightly delayed on the matter, I think now is the perfect time into focusing on a villain within his rogues gallery. And I think a good place to start is of course to focus on Shazam's arch nemesis, and debatably the most well known out of all of his villains, Black Adam. And while on the surface he seems like nothing more but a dark Shazam, there's a lot more underneath that misconception. So without further ado, let's begin with his backstory, and bear in mind, I am mainly going to be focusing on his New Earth origin. So in circa 12,000 BC, the wizard Shazam became a high priest to the pharaoh Ramses II of Egypt. There was time went by, the wizard decided that he must find a champion who is worthy enough to inherit his powers, in which the champion in question would end up becoming Tef Adam of Kandak. And so long as he says the name Shazam, Tef Adam would be granted powers through 6 Egyptian gods. And while Black Adam was a successful hero defending Egypt, he eventually became distant from his own family. And as you could imagine, tragedy struck when he eventually lost his family. His family consisting of his wife Shuratar, as well as his 2 sons Gon and Hurut. Upon returning to Kandak, Black Adam forcefully overthrew the government and appointed himself ruler. But because Black Adam was corrupted by his newfound powers as well as his rage, the wizard Shazam had no other choice but to trap Adam's soul and powers within a powerful scarab. And after he was stripped away from his godlike powers, the powerless Tef Adam alongside the scarab were buried in the tomb of Ramses II, in hope that he will rest there for all of eternity. Though it was inevitable for Black Adam to return from the tomb and seek out for vengeance against the wizard Shazam and his brand new champion. Now looking back on his origin story, you can sense that there was a huge fall from grace when it came down to Black Adam, because when he was first granted these godlike powers, he was a worthy champion for Shazam. But by the time his family was taken away from him, he ultimately became corrupt with hatred, rage and vengeance. And it did lead Black Adam into a dark path, to the point where it led to his downfall. And in a way it does make Black Adam a rather tragic villain, because he was once respected but is ultimately feared. Now there's no denying that Black Adam does have a lot of powers and abilities at his disposal, most notably stemming from the power of the Egyptian gods. For starters, he has the stamina of Shu, which can make him withstand and survive most types of extreme physical assaults, as well as the swiftiness of Heru, which grants him the ability of speed, as well as flight and even superhuman reflexes. Additionally, Black Adam also has the strength of Aemon, which as you could imagine can grant him incalculable strength, and even the wisdom of Sehuti, which grants him instant access to a vast level of scholarly knowledge. Not to mention that Black Adam also possesses the power of Aton, which does grant him the ability of magical lightning as well as teleportation. And to top it all off, he does have the courage of Mehen, which grants him accelerated healing, indomitable will, and even immortality. But even on top of his godlike abilities, Black Adam is a natural leader as well as being a very skilled hand-to-hand combatant. And even if he's weakened or depowered, Black Adam can still hold his own. Now as you can imagine, Black Adam has achieved plenty of incredible feats over the years, and there's only so much I can cover with one character, and so it will be easier for me if I mainly focus on post-crisis Black Adam, seeing as how I've already covered the new prime origin for this villain. For starters, Black Adam is capable of catching Shazam off guard and breaking his arm, as well as being strong enough into breaking out of Kyle Rayner's constructs, and can even trade blows with the likes of Orion. Another crazy feat from Black Adam is that he can fly through the Spectre, and he can even harm him in the process. Plus Black Adam can knock back powerhouses such as Superman himself, as well as ripping out War's heart. And even in the depowered state, Adam is capable of single-handedly killing a Yeti. Black Adam is also capable of beating Hawkman without even being at the peak of his strength. Plus his sonic clap is strong enough to take down Power Gale with one hit. And even despite of Billy Batson becoming the new wizard, Black Adam is strong enough into beating him in combat. Not to mention that Black Adam is also capable of ripping off the head of Amazo, and can seemingly take some lightning from Dr. Fate and laugh it off. Black Adam is so durable that he can casually walk off from a pissed off Superman, and can bounce back and give him just as much punishment. Not to mention that he can also casually walk off Power Girl's heat vision. Plus Black Adam is so fast that he can blitz through the Marvel family, as well as effortlessly dodging Mary Marvel's attacks. Plus Black Adam is capable of catching and throwing a bomb while tearing a guy's arm off before it detonates. What's also impressive is that Black Adam is capable of resisting Martian Manhunter's telepathy. Black Adam is such a one-man army that he can even hold his own against the Justice Society of America, as well as single-handedly slaughtering millions in just 36 hours. Plus his very own lightning is strong enough to incapacitate Martian Manhunter. Speaking of being a one-man army, he can even fight off against the Doom Patrol by himself. But most impressive of all is that Black Adam can single-handedly beat the entire Marvel family. Now despite how Black Adam has been in the comics for many years, surprisingly enough he barely ever appears in other mediums, at least not in a big way. For starters, we have his New 52 incarnation, who as far as I'm concerned is one of the very few characters from the DC universe who benefited greatly from the New 52. Keeping him very true to his origin while making him more badass. We also have his Injustice incarnation, who plays off as more of an anti-hero, despite how he is still technically a villain being within Superman's regime. And in a way he is technically a Shazam replacement, seeing as how they did kill off Billy Batson in Injustice 1. We also have his appearance within the short film known as Superman and Shazam: The Return of Black Adam, which as far as I'm concerned is the thing that introduced most people to Black Adam, as it was the first time we've ever seen him within a major role outside of the comics, and we did get to explore his ruthlessness and how brutal he really is as a villain. And lastly, we will eventually get to see Black Adam on the big screen at some point in the DC Extended Universe, portrayed by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And despite how we did have somewhat of a cameo from him in Shazam, we are seemingly going to have a full-on introduction to the character in his own solo movie, which I think is very appropriate for him given his backstory. Now despite how most people would consider Black Adam to be somewhat of a B-list DC villain, it is great that he is finally getting the spotlight that he deserves as the true arch-nemesis to Shazam. And what makes Black Adam a compelling character is the fact that he really isn't that much of a villain. Because in a similar vein to the likes of Magneto or Lex Luthor, Black Adam does have somewhat good intentions, as he does want to protect the people from Kahndaq. Although what holds him back is his rage and his lust for vengeance. And like I previously mentioned, he is a rather tragic character because at one point he was respected by everyone as he was once the champion of Wizard Shazam. But unfortunately these tragic events did lead to him on a dark path to the point of no return. So because of his very tragic backstory as well as his fall from grace, and on top of all of that being a one-man army, this is why I personally believe that Black Adam is one of the best villains of all time. So are you a huge fan of Black Adam, and what are some of your personal favourite stories from the former champion? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a good one.